to the wicked, oh wicked man, thou shalt surely die. If thou dost not speak to one the wicked from his way, that wicked man shall die in his iniquity. But his blood will I require at thine hands. 9, nevertheless, if thou warn the wicked of his way to turn from it, if he do not turn from his way, he shall die in his iniquity. But thou hast delivered thy soul.
The world is in the coma, deep in spiritual sleep. Jacob's trouble winks at all of his curious sheep. We being led to our slaughter, see our blood in the streets. Hear mothers crying out or drying tears in the sheets. It's not a complicated concept, together we rising. Ages of this nation infiltrating divide. Time's getting shorter, new world order is down. Let's be prepared to hit the wilderness with boots at the ground. Cause they ain't checking for your doctrine, you can't, or who you wish. Scratch the itch where they implanted your chip. I'm peeping secrets now revealed, too prophetic in nature. Wish I could tell you all is well, instead of warning the danger. Heed the message from the prophet, so knock it, it's not a joke. Think it's a game, if it's somebody you know, just got smoke. Hey, here's your warning today. Martial law and Armageddon, and it's headed our way.
Now as I think about the commonly Gasha, I get excited. And the glory of the kingdom to come, it keeps me right. I'm a prophet in this day and age, warning my people. In the world that's corrupt and imbalanced, no way we equal. Now here's the sequel to the days of Noah. The world is so cold, but it's about to get colder. Some may ask how you know. I tell them after it's written. Read the book of Isaiah on what's to come and get with it. Keep it black. Man, it's true because we headed to judgment. In your mind, you're gonna say that the calm said it was coming. I'd rather be safe than sorry. These laws and commandments, it ain't tedious for me. So Pastor, you can say that. Keep spinning your wheel for the fortune passage at. Our rules don't play that. We law keepers, we know when the end game. Pick one. Is it eternal life or eternal flame?
Precept on precept, verse after verse. We here to warn Israel. Why they being cursed? Deuteronomy first. Breaking down one time. No gene search. It's for a wonder and a sign. What they waiting on? Yeshua's coming back. And he ain't gon' play. But first the sky gon' crack. When you attack with the prophecies. Pray and watch constantly. The kingdom for a few, man. That's a small quantity. The harvest is plenty, but the laborers are few. Don't get caught with your pants down when Yeshua slide through. Get your mind right. Use a real Hebrew. Come and get that all white with fringe with water blue. Romans 12 and 2. Understand is what we forget about. Renewing our minds. Everything we learn, we zap it out. We straight up out the hood, brewed up, no doubt. All credits to the Most High. We bang the word out.
We bang the word out. Keeping it cracking, making it happen, we get active. Strike them like matches with all that yapping. What are you talking about? Nah, don't explain, just pull scripture. You ain't got that? Then holler back soon as you get them. Cause that's all we going off of. No hard feelings or lost love. That doctrine is to and fro and I ain't getting tossed up. Solid as a brick, yes. Truth gon' stick best. Rubbing these spots and blemishes out. Windex, the only way to get rid of dirt is just to get wet.
Welcome. This is Real Talk 101 here in the Sunday afternoon, 6 to 8 p.m. in Voxwave Studios. The phone number to the studio is 240-719-2560. Yeah, this is Real Talk, man. You see how we look at, you see our faces, our body language. It's a weary type day. I mean, the weather is not doing anything to, help the atmosphere, but whatever. We in here. Most High brought us here, and we're thankful of that, if nothing else. If this is your first time joining us, what we do on a week-to-week basis, we talk about past experiences, revelations, and anything that the Most High may have dropped in our spirit during the week. We come rap about it, saying real life stuff, real talk, and then we expose the devil in the process to see the angle that he always tries to come from, because at some point or another, he's coming at us. So, one way or another, should I say. But yeah, we usually start the show off with prayer requests and testimonies. What's on your mind, bruh?
I'm tired, man. Smell like manure. Playing in compost. But I got some testimonies, man.
Okay, that's what's up. I got a couple too.
Head burning up. Man, it's been a trying week.
Yes, it has.
Trying week, but the beautiful thing about the Most High, and I'm gonna drop something on you. Anybody that's listening and may be wondering if the Most High is rocking with you or not, or if you have fallen from grace, or you done did too much to turn around, or whatever the case may be, try this, right? Get up off the early morning in silence. With me, I'm in my vehicle.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Because I really don't Yeah, I remember when I get in that truck, it's like a fortress. Me and the Most High be kicking it. Ask him something in your mind that only he could respond to.
Oh.
And wait. Just wait.
That's
Don't anticipate a response just like that. Might take a day or two, depending on how you talk to him, right, or how real your conversations be with him anyway. But ask him something that only he would know, and wait for the response, because he will respond. He will respond. May not like it.
Depending on what you ask.
Depending on what you say to him. You know what I'm saying? But man, he gave me a spill this week, Joe, boosting me, because I was wondering, man, where am I at with you for real? Like, yeah, we transitioning.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Was there, now we here, but it's like, I mean, because I thought we was tight when I was under the delusion. Mm. You doing stuff for me, regardless. Mm-hmm. Sun shines on the just as well as the unjust. Mm-hmm. Am I any different than the unjust? You know, have I become filthy still? And what do they say? Let him who is filthy remain filthy still. Has that decree gone forth? You know,
I have mercy. I hope not.
I'm positive it has not.
Yeah.
Positive.
I know, but that's still, that decree is still sobering. Go ahead.
But you know, the thought, it'll check you.
Yes, it will.
It'll put you in a place of submission in your mind, if not even in your flesh, and your spirit. Man, he showed me, and it was real simple, wasn't it? He didn't say nothing really profound. He just showed me that he's been with me my entire life. And he gave me a spill about something that only he would have known. I didn't even ask him. He told me something.
He came with it.
He just told me, so I'm sitting there trying not to get pissed off because, you know, second day in a row I got a flat tire on the trailer. Second time the tire came off the rim. So I gotta buy no. I ain't had a bread. You know what I'm saying? I tried to hit Jeanette, ask her for the money. I called her like 3-4 times. She ain't answer the phone. You already know where my mind was going. Who you talking to? Why you ain't answering the phone? Most I was like, she left her phone in the house. Now, I had a...
For him to tell you that's so interesting. Go ahead.
But it was like, it wasn't the first thing that came to my mind. Right. I had to go through. My flesh had to try to get me to trip out.
Had to have it say.
Cuss her out. All I had to do was say, what the you know what I'm saying? If that would have came out, the day would have been off. I stopped it because I'm singing. I'm in the truck singing. I get to work early. I'm just rapping to the Most High. I look in the mirror. Well, the second day I knew the tire was flat because it was flip as I pulled it to the yard. First day I'm sitting there looking in the mirror. The daggone trailer leaning. Got out like, man, you know, got to jump with some air in it. You know, nothing even here nor there. But Joe, the fact that I'm like, man, she ain't got a phone. Joe, I need a tire. I can't drive the joint on one tire. I ain't had the bread for the tire, man. I thought about hitting all types of different people. Most High was like, text Brad and Lamar. I could have sent you the text by yourself, but based on, you see Lamar's response, it was you know what I'm saying? Best I could have did was come get you. And I believe that brother would have came up BWI to assist in whatever way he could. My man right here, he just say, man, what's your cash app? Boom, shot me the bread. Was able to handle the situation. Most High instructed me where to go. Got a new tire. But he told me something. As I'm sitting there thinking in my mind, like, Joe, what the flip is going on? Why every time I think things is all right, some BS happened? And I tried to make it my fault because of how I'm living or not living or whatever.
First time.
It was like, man, he's like, you've been hurt. I was sitting there thinking, I was like, because I told you, he gave me a lesson on patience. He allowed me to look at, you know, the trees and the grass and the sky, and how he creates these settings. You know what I'm saying? These landscapes. He planted all this. This is his garden, and it took time. It did not happen overnight. You know what I'm saying? He's like, man, to cultivate a mind, to cultivate a life, to cultivate anything, it takes patience. You think about how you get in a conversation with somebody and you're so quick to cuss them out. But what they really need is your ability to cultivate their mind. If you care, I never cared. I didn't give a damn. I'm like, Joe, look, you should know. You're grown, been here long enough, get your ish together. I could turn that around and play it in my own ear. Man, he was like, patience. He was like, man, you been hurt? And he took me back to the first and second situation that took place. I was in 4th grade. And I'm driving the truck, trying to let my coworkers see me crying, right? I keep hitting my glasses like, you know what I'm saying? Looking at the side. This side over here was just going. This side right here, I'm trying to keep that joint dry. 'Cause I'm just like, Joe, you just told me that. I ain't asked you that.
Right.
I
ain't asked you that.
And when he gave it to me, it made sense. He like opened my mind back up to when I was in 4th grade. Now I remember the 2 situations. It's like that. He was like, if you were not with me, you wouldn't have been able to receive that. You would not have heard me. And then, of course, all the madness started trying to kick back in. You know, he get quiet and let you deflect that if you choose to. Or you can dwell on that nonsense.
Don't the prosecutor always go first and present their case in court?
Does the prosecution go first? I believe so.
Opening statements, prosecution always goes first.
I believe so.
That's the flesh.
I believe so.
Prosecution always goes first, but then there must come the defense.
Right.
Yep.
With him telling me that, Joe, let me know. Is this patience thing is a rebuild. It's a rebuilding. We all damaged in some way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In some way, shape, or form. Ain't nobody perfect. You know what I'm saying? We all been through something. We all going through stuff. We gonna keep going through stuff until ain't no more stuff to go through, and that's when he come back. So just anticipate that, number one, and know the Most High is just getting started reacquainting himself with his people. So you about to see miracles, bro. You told me when you was up in Toronto, up in Canada, and you asked the Most High to hold the rain back.
He did it.
Bro, he did the same thing for me today. I'm talking to Janelle on the phone. I'm trying to get this compost down. Now I'm watering, so I need the rain, but I don't want it to make the compost wet on the back of the truck. It's just gonna make it heavier. I'm like, yeah, I need like an hour and a half, Joe. I need you to just stop the rain for like an hour and a half. Rain, tape it off. I get to rolling, right, Slim. As I'm rolling the water hose up, it started raining again. Trip me out, Joe.
I know it did.
I'm like, man, you off the chain, man.
When he does it.
Hey, I don't know who else was asking for him to stop it raining at that time, but as far as I'm concerned, he did it for me.
You did it because you believed, man. It was belief.
I needed it. He said, I'm going to give you what you
need.
I ain't gonna put more than you to bed.
Right.
My back was already. I couldn't handle lifting no heavy compost.
Right.
Man. It was fluffy. I like, that water get on.
That water
it's gonna get heavy.
Man,
he made it happen. That's my testimony. The fact that he kept me calm during the week, checked me in my head when I wanted to make Shorty against me because she wasn't answering the phone the whole time. She called me when she got to work. I just wanted to let you know I forgot my phone in the house. I was like, I already knew that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even say nothing to her about needing no money or nothing because it was already taken care of. He'd already worked it out.
Right.
He told me, don't call her no more. Because she ain't got her phone. What you calling her for? Hey, so we got to learn to listen, Joe, and stop going on the flesh. I didn't try to. What I wanted to do was send a group text to the ministry group, to the family group, chat them up. Yeah. Said, nah, create a joint with Brandon Lamar. Shoot them. That came in about over 10 minutes span. Because I'm sitting, I'm like, Joe, what am I doing? I need to get this tied. I gotta get this tied. And you gotta wait sometimes. You just gotta wait and see what he say. You know what I'm saying? First thing they said, follow your first mind. I would advise against that. Given the situation, your first mind, depending on how you living, might be the setup. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I got some prayer requests too, but that was my testimony, man. The Most High still look out, Joe.
He do.
He looks out, man.
He looks out in various ways, shapes, and forms. Some of them be comical to me. I had several testimonies, actually. Now that I think on them, man, it shouldn't. One thing that it came to me this week is the fact that, and it leads into the testimony. I had a training this week. I had to give a one-day training to about 14 people. Most of the people in the room were higher GS level government officials than myself, so I was teaching people who were essentially over me. And I was teaching them how to properly get things done and avoid stress-free workplace and increase your productivity. That's the basis of what I do. And so I was studying the material again and just re-upping it. It's very simplistic and practical material, so it's easy to teach. But it's like if I don't flow through it the way I know I can, then I feel I've done a bad job. And there was a snag that I hit in the morning where I was asked a very intuitive question by one of the people who were in my class, and it had me thinking about how to answer it. And in my mind, I gave him an answer, but it was just a bunch of words that sounded good. And so I knew it in my mind. I'm like, I hope and he looked like a pretty intelligent dude. His name was Adam. He was looking at me kind of he had glasses on, looking at me kind of like this. And I was like, man, I hope I ain't F that up. And this is just me. But I was focused on it so much that when we had our first break, I went into the side room and I was like, all right, help me, y'all. Give me that wisdom. That wisdom I know comes from you. And from that point forward, after I had that prayer, I flowed through the rest of it like I hit a stride. Like the whole afternoon was just sweet. Floated through the rest of the material. They clapped for me when I finished teaching it. So I was like, I ain't never had something happen like that before. And but the thing that stuck in my mind as I left the training was, man, I messed up in the beginning. And that came to me. I was like, we always know how to focus and identify our flaws, even when everything else has been a blessing. We have showers of blessing. We have 1 minute where the shower stops and we like, oh, well, it ain't raining blessings now.
Right.
And that's all we remember. And that, and I apologize to the Most High for that. And I was just like, y'all, please forgive me on that note, because it's like you bless so much. It's like we got to start paying more attention to the multitude of blessings. I mean, you have functionality within your bodily members that a lot of people don't have. That's blessing amongst itself. And so there was that experience that I had. And then about last weekend, close to around this time, I wrote a whole track in one day, and I had to take 3 different sessions and sitting down to write it. He pulled something out of me. Like right now, it's about 90 to 95% memorized up in here. So now the only thing I got to do left is just get my breath control right, because it's a lot of words. It's a whole lot. It's more words than I think I've ever put in a track before. So I'm thankful for the work that's going to do, because the way he has it on my mind, there is significance with that track that's going to reach some people. So I praise the Most High for putting that gift in me, even when I think I don't have the mental capacity to hold any more words. You know what I'm saying? It shows the amazing machine, or the creation the brain actually is, man. It's amazing, especially with how much when I find myself unsober, and damaging what is up there, he can still pull stuff. I'm like, yo. So, the Most High, he blesses who, however he wants to bless, man. And I'm thankful. All we can do is say thank you, because there is no justification for us. We have no justification. Our righteousness is filthy. So because of that, man, I'm thankful. Prayer requests would include anything like going forward to, the ministry, those who are sick and shut in, and for delusion and deception to be removed. Had a good dinner with my folks yesterday.
That's what's up.
At the church, had a good conversation too, and they increasingly know where my mind state is and where I am when it comes to spiritual and religious things, and they just got to accept it, because really there's no defense against it. I'm like, what I resort to and what I believe is holding firm is the name of the Most High is supreme. And there's a reason right now that everybody's becoming aware of it. And his truth is truth. And it's the most important truth. And that truth is going to lead you to have a stronger relationship with him, or it's going to leave you to leave him alone, because it's going to cause you to make a decision, no matter how jarring it is. And once you've made that decision, it is recorded. And he said in his word, man, he who is not afraid to call my name out amongst people, I will not be afraid to claim his name or say his name in front of my Father. I know I'm not quoting it directly, but he says that, man. And I'm just like, I appreciate that, because that means my name is being called out just like I'm calling his name out, man. So yeah, let's go ahead and get in with a word of prayer. I know we.
The same prayer request on the study group, in general, because I don't remember what everybody said. I do, but remember those specific prayers, and as much as there's some demonic activity ramping up, right? And we know it's going to increase, but a specific prayer on behalf of those who are being affected and don't know how to defend themselves. We know what to do. We know how to go to the Most High in spiritual battle mode and rumble for ourselves and others, but people getting beat, getting whooped, and don't even know what's going on for real, and don't want to hear nothing about no spiritual nothing. May not even believe in God, or definitely ain't rocking with the Most High. But they need some supernatural help aside from the original prayer request from the group. You know, and that'll cover everything I was gonna say anyway for the most part, especially those that need some healing and comfort or whatever. But yeah, just because I know individuals. I know them. They getting their behinds handed to them in the spiritual realm, messing their mind up. And it's like they ain't got a dog in the fight. And I don't always go to bat like I should. He told me that the other day, man, like if nothing else, your job is to just pray for people. Nothing else. You can't do nothing else for them. At least
do that, man.
You know what I'm saying? Ask me to do what you want to do that you can't do. Because people they about to try to throw the towel in, can't throw the towel in. Too late in the game. Throw the towel in. Can't throw the towel in.
Hey, that's a bet. Light is, but Father, thank you for assembling us here yet again. Thank you for your grace and mercy and the forgiveness that you give us it's like every single day. Please cleanse us right now of any sin and iniquity that may be here before us. We think about all of the brothers and sisters that we minister with, minister to, get ministry from. I ask that you be with each and every family representative, those that I speak of, especially those of the Bible study group, and within our ministry, the Hood Proud Ministry, Father, those who are currently here and those who are no longer. I pray a special blessing over them as well. I pray a blessing of forgiveness over the studio, all the people who come through, do their shows, and even the management, Father. You see us right now as we really are. Please use us as you have so many times before. Please continue to remove the strong delusion and the lies that are currently in place, and do so with your still small voice, Father. You're the only one that people can really respond to, that they can't really go against. I pray that they don't. Continue to use us to shed light on what light needs to be shed on and expose the devil in his many various ways. And all the various things that we have yet buried still deep within us that we only talk to you about. Remember those prayer requests as well. People need healing. People need jobs. People need so many things, Father. But, I mean, our scripture tells us, like, if you would take care of the sparrow and the flowers of the field who don't toil or sow, and you look out for all of them, how much more important are we than that? We are by far made in your image and one of your most prized creation, Father. We don't act like it so many times, and we thank you for looking past that. Continue to be with us as we go through this show. In your son Yeshua's name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Man. All right, so we got this joint open to First Chronicles, bro. I'll say this much just to open up about the word, man. I'm excited because from the Bible study, Candace gave me that the Apocrypha for the New Testament, all the books removed, and I started going through a little bit of that on Saturday. And just off the little bit I read, I went on Amazon and bought the first book, the one that she still has, because I said I want to go through the Old Testament before I go through the New. So I just went ahead and bought the joint, and I also bought like this Book of Enoch joint, so I don't have it on my phone no more, and I can just read the joint. And I'm appreciative of the excitement that I had when I was buying it. I was like, man, I'm about to get some knowledge. You're going to tell me. Because I know every time I open them books, I ain't reading it just to be reading it.
Right.
I'm reading it so he can tell me something, and I can carry that information where it needs to be carried and know it and have that information because I would need to know it. You know what I'm saying? To know what's about to go down, what is currently going down. And so I just want to rehearse the fact, man, that you see us every week with these joints open, man. And there is a special connection that happens when we invoke the presence of the Most High to know what He wants us to know. It's not just about reading this joint just to find out proverbs and memory verses that we can recite or upon call. It's like, you know, what in here is speaking directly to me? What impact will these words have in my life? Or give me something to give to somebody else, which is an even more powerful prayer, because you ain't praying just for yourself. You're praying so that somebody else can be blessed, and then a situation can come about where you'll have that opportunity to testify and rehearse what you learn. And it's a beautiful thing when that happens, because in that very moment you are being used by the Most High. Because if you try to give somebody the proper meaning and context out of this word based off your own knowledge, you'll mess it up in some way, shape, or form. And the reason why is because the devil wants to ensure that happens. But when the Most High takes over and he gives you something out of this book to give to somebody else, when you rehearse it, he's going to do it, because he's going to recite and recall all the things to mind that person needs to hear. That's happened time and time again. I'm thankful for it. So yeah, I'm appreciative wherever we dive in at, man. I just finished Deuteronomy, and I'm excited because in the next coming days I'll be starting with the Joshua and the Judges, and then we moving into to my favorite joints, the Samuel and the Kings and the Chronicles, man. That's what David is, man. That's I can't wait to go back into David from this book, because I haven't done it yet. So, and actually, that's kind of where you at right now with this First Chronicles,
17, man.
Getting the ark back.
17.
What did he show you in here, man? You said 17.
17.
First Chronicles 17.
I'm gonna just read.
Okay.
We got 3 different versions to read from, so that should take us. I'm gonna read it in the King James.
Right.
I wish I had my Septuagint. I left it over Jennifer joint. We're gonna get it from the Jerusalem and from the Tanakh. If you got a Septuagint, read it out of that for yourself.
The prophecy of Nathan.
It says, 1 Chronicles 17, verse 1 says, "Now it came to pass, as David sat in his house, that David said to Nathan, the prophet, Lo, I dwell in a house of cedars, but the ark of the covenant of Yahweh remaineth under curtains. Then Nathan said unto David, Do all that is in thine heart, for Elohim is with thee." I thought that was, he said, do all that's in your heart.
Yeah. Because he knows what David's heart is. Nathan is especially attuned to what David's heart is because of what David's done up until this point. So he's like, oh, you Most High is clearly rocking with you. So
he said, do all that's in your heart.
But he was meaning specifically. He
knew
knew where he was going. Yet? No, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
So that move.
Yeah, that's what the next verse.
The move was sanctioned.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the Bathsheba move.
Oh. No. I'm thinking when he's saying this to him, this is before he comes with the you messed up with Bathsheba. Bathsheba hasn't happened yet.
That's what I'm saying. But what did he tell him?
He
do
said,
all this in that heart.
Do all
he was with you. So if he was up on the roof and he said something watered,
man, nah, I ain't gonna put that. I ain't gonna put that on.
All right, well, let's keep reading.
Okay,
let's keep reading. I'm just saying that's what it say. Do all this in your heart.
I'm thinking he's meaning specifically. He's like, where you about to go about saying I live in this, and then the ark, which is seemingly more important than me. What do you
only know that because you know that,
right?
You only know that because
I know that, right.
It said it came to pass that same night that the word of Elohim came to Nathan, saying, Go and tell David my servant, Thus saith Yahweh, Thou shalt not build me an house to dwell in. For I have not dwelt in a house since the day that I brought up Israel unto this day, but have gone from tent to tent and from one tabernacle to another. Apparently the Most High ain't chilling in those stationary buildings like that.
Yeah, he's moving around.
Wheresoever I have walked with all Israel, spake I a word to any of the judges. Read verse 6, because I don't really understand what this says right here.
In all my journeying with the whole of Israel, did I say to any one of the judges of Israel, whom I had appointed as shepherds of my people, why have you not built me a house of cedar?
Okay, I kind of figured that's what's being said, but it says, Wheresoever I have walked with all Israel, spake I a word to any of the judges of Israel, whom I commanded to feed my people, saying, Why have ye, well, I guess I do say the same thing. Why have ye not built me a house of cedars? Now therefore thus shalt thou say unto my servant David, Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, I took thee from the sheepcote, even from following the sheep, that thou shouldest be ruler over my people Israel. And I have been with thee whithersoever thou hast walked, and have cut off all thine enemies from before thee, and have made thee a name like the name of the great men, and have made thee a name like the name of the great men that are in the earth. Also I will ordain a place for my people Israel, and will plant them, and they shall dwell in their place, and shall be moved no more. Neither shall the children of wickedness waste them any more, as at the beginning. And since the time that I commanded judges to be over, neither shall the children of wickedness waste them any more, as at the beginning, and since the time that I commanded judges to be over my people Israel. Moreover, I will subdue all thine enemies. Furthermore, he said, moreover then furthermore. Moreover, I will subdue all thine enemies. And beyond that, furthermore, I tell thee that Yahweh will build thee. Furthermore, I tell thee that Yahweh will build thee an house. So the Most High gonna build David a house?
Today's point of judgment is I will subdue all enemies. I will make you great. Yahweh will make you a house. Yeah.
Make you a house.
Yeah, that's what my joint says.
So that build.
I will make you great. And then there's a subtext that says, I declare to you, Yahweh will make you a house.
Furthermore, I tell thee that Yahweh will build thee a house. See, make thee a house would lead me to think he's talking about what he's going to do with him in the future. How he's going to create something with his household.
Yeah, you
build you a house. I'm thinking
house.
Structure.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's the difference I see. Yeah. Make you a house is like establish you for generations. Yeah.
You're going to be a house.
You're going to be a house, right.
But build you a house, or maybe build you into a house.
That would fit more like what this is. But that's
this. So he said, we'll build thee an house. And it shall come to pass when the days be expired, and it shall come to pass when thy days be expired, that thou must go to be with thy fathers, that I will raise up thy seed after thee, which shall be of thy sons, and I will establish his kingdom. And I will raise up thy seed after thee, which shall be of thy sons, and I will establish his kingdom. Now, what tribe was David from? Do you know of that?
He's from Jesse. I guess we can find it. Whenever it starts talking about, where's the origin story? This is Samuel. I'll look for it.
I just found it because he said, I will raise up thy seed after thee. Now, he's talking to David now. He ain't necessarily talking to one of the patriarchs. So there's another kid who should be looked at a little more closely, I guess.
Than David?
Then I will raise up thy seed after thee, which shall be of thy sons, and I will establish his kingdom. He shall build me, I'm talking about Solomon, he shall build me an house, and I will establish his throne forever. I will be his father. So the Most High did accept that temple Solomon built.
Yeah. He's the one that told David he's going to do it because of them hands of blood. David went too hard in the paint.
You see something?
Nah, I'm almost there. I'm looking at when David's being anointed, so I'll find it.
He said, I will be his father, and he shall be my son, and I will not take my mercy away from him, as I took it.
Judah.
He's from Judah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's still with Judah.
Uh-huh.
It's still okay. I will be his father, and he shall be my son, and I will not take my mercy away from him, as I took it from him that was before thee. Who was before him?
Before Saul.
Saul. Okay.
Yeah.
But I will settle him in mine. I will settle him in mine house and in my kingdom forever, and his throne shall be established forevermore. According to all these words and according to all this vision, so did Nathan speak unto David. You got the Most High telling David, I don't need you to build me a house. Up to this point, I ain't dwelt in no house, just from tent to tent to tent. But your son, he gonna do it, and I'm gonna establish my kingdom with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
David turns right around and says, verse 16, and David the king came and sat before Yahweh and said, this is after Nathan gave him the spirit, and David the king came and sat before Yahweh and said, who am I? It's funny he gave me a daggone track called Who Am I?
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what this is. This is Who Am I?
Who am I? O Yah, Elohim, and what is mine house that thou hast brought me hitherto?
Right.
That's the same question we basically just raised. What is his house? What is he talking about? You gonna build me a house, or you gonna turn me into something? What you gonna say?
Like, why do that? Almost. That's what he's. It says, "Who am I, Yahweh, God, and what is my house that you have led me far as this?"
Led me far as this.
Have led me as far as this. What is my house? So his question is coming more so as a means of understanding. Why in the world do you favor me? That you brought me this far? And that's a very interesting question for all that David has done up until this point. To still look at the Most High and be like, who in it? That's reeks with humility. And the Most High just loves all that. I've done all this with you. You done whooped Goliath behind. You done had wars aplenty by now. And David, still after all this, at this point, rocking with Nathan, the one who's going to decry what his act is going to be with Bathsheba. That's why Nathan was just like, man, you know, Most High got to be with you. Do whatever's in your heart. Because he got to be with you. But then on the other flip side of that, David's now asking the question, man, he just gets more news from Nathan about a prophecy that concerns him, about a temple, and about what the Most High will do. And so that's blowing David's mind back into humility. He's like, hold up. You still got more you want to do with me? So now my response to the Most High is, hold up. Why are you still with me, man? Who am I and what am I that you would bring me this far? And when he says this far, he's saying it with the implication, and you still got plans to take me further. That's all that's in David's mind in the same time when he asked the question, who am I?
So we basically mimicking our ancestor and asking the question, who are we that the Most High is even still rocking with us?
Yeah, because we see our unworthiness, man. And that's the thing. When the closer you get to him, you see his perfection just coming at you from every angle. That's why we can't live in his presence. No, let me rephrase that. We can't live where he physically is, or else we'll perish. That's what I mean. We can live in his presence, but it's like if he actually were to show up, if he did not veil himself or restrain his glory, we would die. Think about that for a second. So let's think about a human being. If somebody were to walk in this room, like the Pope claims that he's God, if he is God, then when he walks in the room, we should die.
Truth.
But we don't. Why? Because he's human just like we.
He's a regular sinful man.
Man, listen. So that whole question should really bring to your mindset. It's like, this God is so holy and so pure, yet he's rocking with me, someone's so filthy. But the thing is, your ability to see how filthy you are is what attracts him to you. Because when you think that you ain't a mess, he can't do nothing with you. It's like you already think you God. Because you ain't nothing wrong with you. So it's about that mindset, man. And that's why the Most High appreciates humility more than anything, man. He just keeps drilling that. And David had that in abundance, man. And he's showing it right here. I done this much with you. Nathan's talking about more stuff I'm going to do with you. So as you sit there and reflect on all that I've done, you just got to stop. He could have been like, you know what, Most High, I bet. That's what we going to do. He could have said that and been justified because it was just prophesied. So he's like, all right, I heard the prophecy from my man Nathan. So all this that you going to do with me, yeah, it's going to come to pass. Let's get it, Most High. But no, that wasn't his response. His response was, oh, wait. Who is me? Who am I? And what is my house that you would lead me this far? And you talking like you still got more to do with me, that you want to do with me.
You think David had any kids at this point?
Can we prove that? Was he married?
I don't know.
Where we at? He's getting the ark back. He's already the predecessor. Hold on. The northern tribes, other Levites. I'm just looking backwards just to see what's written.
Because the only wife it speaks of is Bathsheba, right?
Benjamin and Jerusalem. But he had Michal or Michal, whatever.
Saul's daughter.
Yeah, Saul's daughter.
Yeah.
That was his first wife. Because Saul wanted to keep him close.
Right.
The death of Saul. So yeah, everything with Saul has happened because the death of Saul, it came in 1 Chronicles 10. So everything that happened with Saul is already taking place. So David should at least have 2 to 3 wives by now. I'm thinking because he had Michal, then he had that woman who was bad and her husband was an idiot. His name was Nabal or something like that. Remember that?
Yeah.
Nabal, David was like, that did happen. Because David was running from Saul and he was like, look, man, we just passed through your vineyards. We ain't gonna let nobody mess with you. Just give my men a little bit of bread. He was like, nigga, I don't know you.
Yeah.
Who am I? Who are you? You
Did
be
his
lying.
wife bring him the mood up?
Yeah, his wife, because the ball was like, man, go tell that joker he ain't getting not a nail thing. But his wife was like, when David got word, David was like, tool up. And they all started marching. His wife threw on all her apparel and she sent gifts ahead of herself. Kind of like what Israel did before Esau. Remember, he kept sending gifts ahead of himself because he wanted to be all right. And so when that happened, each gift that David received was calming him down, and then come his fine behind wife. And he was like, oh. And then he proclaimed, he was like, surely you have come straight for the Lord because I was about to roll through your whole family, everything. I was about to come through and just decimate like I've been known to do. So she was a wife. Michal was a wife. I know he at least got them 2. I think he had a third. I really think he had a third, but I can't remember who she was right now. I love David, man. I can't wait to get back into this. You got me psyched now.
You feel that?
I do.
Somebody got a mean system, Joe.
Yeah, they do. Somebody's bass
That was some
is
tremendous bass.
is barking out that joint. Yeah.
Go ahead, pick up from 17, man.
Where was you at?
Verse 17.
Verse 17, all right. Yet in your eyes, O Yah, this is still not far enough. Did I just say that?
Yeah.
I didn't even read the verse. Yet in your eyes, O Yah, this is still not far enough. And you make your promises extend to your servant's house into the distant future. You show me, as it were, a line of men, and it is Yahweh Elohim who promises it. What more can David say to you now he's speaking himself in the third person. What more can he should say I say, what more can David say to you for the honor you have given to your servant? That just shows his descent into humility there. He's in awe. Because when you start speaking yourself in the third person, like I didn't even notice that till just now. That's crazy. All right, continuing on with 19, he said, you yourself have singled out your servant for your servant's sake. This dog of yours, according to your own heart, you have done such a great thing by revealing all this greatness to come. There is none like you, no Elohim except you alone, that we have ever heard of. Is there another people on the earth like your people Israel, with a Elohim setting out to redeem it and make it his people, giving yourself a name for great and terrible things by driving nations out before your people whom you redeemed from Egypt?
Let me read this real. Would you stop at 21?
I'll stop at 22.
22, 20. Oh, Yah, there is none like thee, neither is there any God beside thee. I'm going to read that in the Tanakh too, these like 3-4 verses.
Got you.
Oh, Yah, there is none like thee, neither is there any Elohim beside thee, according to all that we have heard with our ears. And what one nation in the earth is like thy people Israel, whom Elohim went to redeem to be his own people, to make thee a name of greatness and terribleness by driving out nations from before thy people, whom thou hast redeemed out of Egypt. That was 21. Says, and who is like your people Israel? Oh, 20. Hashem, there's none like you, and there's no God beside you, like all that we have heard with our ears. And who is like your people Israel, a unique nation on earth, whom Elohim went forth to redeem unto himself for a people, achieving for yourself renown for great and marvelous wonder, driving out nations from before your people, whom you had redeemed from Egypt. He drove out nations from before his people, even though his people was... Go ahead, you're 22.
And the reason why he drove them out, chief amongst all things, and I read it like maybe a week or two ago, is because of idolatry. They were the ones doing the soothsaying and the fortune telling and the mediums and the seances and all. They were doing that in abundance, aside from idolatry and idol worship. And it's because they wouldn't release that they were being cleansed from the land. He was like, you know how that's how vicious that is in the Most High sight.
So they were damaging the land.
They would
cleanse the land of their idolatry.
So
our actions hurts the earth.
Yeah.
What we do, they carving. What was them joints called? The acacia trees. You know what I'm saying? What they put the
strong pillars, the pillars, the sacred pillars.
What they call them joints?
Those are totems, by the way.
Right, but there was a name, and what was them joints called?
The Ashtoreth.
Ashtoreth, I think that's what it was.
The Ashtoreth or the Baalim or.
But they were trees. They were carvings, right?
Yeah.
Of trees.
Yeah. The Ashtoreth was a group of Canaanite deities. That's what.
Because you had the high places, the groves.
Right, but they were groves. Those places were used for worship, for idol worship.
Right, but that's where the trees was at, right? In the groves.
Yeah, it's everywhere. Underneath every green tree. So all right. So remember this. Remember when the Most High created Eden, and He said that there were trees of the garden that were not only good for fruit, but were good to look at as well. So let's say you have trees that are appeasing to the eyes. They were viewed as more sacred or more desirable places to hold worship because of how they look. So you're taking trees, the mightiest plant that the Most High has, the largest growing plant that He has, and the ones that He made for beauty, you're using His trees to worship underneath them false deities. So he's like, you using, that's not what I meant my trees for. First of all, not so you could be underneath them joints worshiping false deities. So that was an offense to him. He showed me that. So when all that's going on, those high places, places where you're even closer to the Most High, and you going up there worshiping things that are way below. That's offensive to him too.
When they're worshiping trees.
Yeah, we're worshiping trees underneath trees, and then we're worshiping demons in real life. You know, they don't know what they don't know what they're doing. But yeah, man. And then to give these false deities attributes over the multitude of, I guess, natural forces in the world. That's what pisses him off. He does everything by himself. It's monotheism. Why in the world do we attribute different gods to different things? This is God of the sun, God of the wind, God of the ocean, God of the earth, Mother Earth.
None of them are Elohim.
Yeah, Mother Nature. You know, and even that phrase. I mean, you think about, we use it so randomly, but it's like no, son. He controls the name. I ain't getting it. Just like he told you this week. It took patience to do this. Patience with no Mother Nature coming through doing it. Nah, man, it's offensive to him.
Why?
It's like you doing a masterpiece of landscaping. I mean, your most pristine job you've ever done, and they attribute it to a couple fools just running around. A couple. You did it by yourself, but you attribute it to. You see what I'm saying, man?
I know what you're saying.
That would make you feel some type of way. He's like, nah, man, I did that. I took my patience and time and work ethic was put into that. You attributed it into a whole team of people who wasn't even nowhere around.
That's like giving credit to the nursery for doing the landscape because that's where I got the material from.
Right, to the nursery. That's right.
Nah, they don't get
Go to the Home Depot
the people
part.
that got to understand, the ones that have figured out how nature functions, created these fake deities. Like, yeah, because we know how it works, we're going to tell you how to worship it. Most times, like, nah, it don't work like that. Worship me. I created all that. And that's what the angels say, man. You said the time has come to worship him who created the heavens and the earth, the sea and the fountains
That's
of water.
why they say all that.
Yeah, we worship him. Don't worship the sea and the fountains of waters and everything.
Right. He created everything. But that just shows how much we need to be reminded of that. Because then just like every time Moses gave a discourse back to the children of Israel, I am the God who brought you out of it. He started with, I'm the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Then he was like the one who brought you out of Egypt. Remember that, because that's where all this started with y'all.
He always reminds us where he brought us from.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. You got to be reminded of where you come from.
Please.
You know what I'm saying?
Please be
it
reminded.
ain't where you at. So many people forget where they came from because they think they've arrived. You think
Arrived
you
where?
Where? You still here.
That song
You ain't
last
gone
week,
nowhere yet.
he's like, the reason why it's hard for a rich man to get in heaven because he believes he's already there. That's the deception.
Man,
That's the deception.
it's crazy. You got 6-7 figures. You think you're doing something. Get 1,000 hills worth of cattle. Then you might be doing something.
What did the parable say? There was a foolish rich man who said, I'm going to build 1,000 more barns and fill them joints up with wealth. And the Most High said, fool, your very life will be required of you tonight. Now what you going to do?
He ain't get to enjoy none of that.
None of that.
Somebody else got to enjoy all that.
Your
man.
life is going to be required of you tonight. Just Nebuchadnezzar, ain't this the great Babylon I have built? All right, you're gonna be roaming around like an animal for the.
I'd have been there so many times, man. I was like,
For the
man,
next
please
7
don't
years,
require
bro.
my life tonight. Not
Oh,
tonight.
Slim. Or don't turn me into no animal for 7 years. I mean, hey, look, man, that position that you have, to whom much is given, much is required. And I think one lyric I heard on that brother's song that is another track. He's like, what is a king to a god? Nothing. But the king that God set up to be there for however long. I didn't record it right because it rhymed, but he's like, well, so what is a king to a god? Nothing. He gave him that position to reign for however long. That's why this nonsense that happens here on Capitol Hill and all that, it's if for anything, it should raise your alarm. It should raise your antennas, because this is being allowed to happen. And people always go crazy about, what's happening, how many lies his brother told, how many scandals he wrapped into. I was like, he ain't had nothing on Jeroboam. Was it, make sure I'm saying that right. It was Jeroboam.
No,
And it was Jeroboam, because that was the man of God that we talked about in front. And you know what? I don't even need to use him. He ain't no Ahab. Ahab was worse.
Yeah.
Ahab was the worst. Because when it got to him, they said in the word, it was like, ain't no king before him was that wicked.
And he was the king of Judah, right?
He was king of Judah.
Are the Most High's people. Of the tribe. The
Ahab, king of Judah.
Come on, man.
His wife was a voodoo priestess. she was the daughter of a high priest of Baal.
So we it's deep rooted.
It's deep rooted, bro.
It ain't got nothing to do with the denominations that's floating around today. It was instilled in us a long time ago.
Man, listen, it really all originates with the fact that the devil has always been roaming around like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. He found out the Most High chose the chosen people, so he made it his job, number one, to try to bury and oppress that chosen people at any and all costs. Because if the Most High chose a specific people, that means he's going to do something with them. And whatever it is, whatever he does with them is going to be against the devil's kingdom. Period. If he chooses anything, it's going to be in opposition of what the devil wants to do. So that's why the devil's like, all right, all these other people in this world, I got to make sure that these jokers right here mess up and do not keep the commandments, nor the statutes, nor the laws, so that all them curses that were announced, man, that tripped me out when I finished Deuteronomy. Right before Moses went up the mountain and died, the Most High was like, it's time for you to go ahead up the mountain and be gathered to your people. Bring Joshua to the tent of meeting. So I'm a bless. I want you to put your hands on him so the spirit can get into him and he's going to lead the people in. But before you go up there, I'm just letting you know that everybody's going to go into this land. They're going to commit the harlot. They're going to act a fool. And I'm going to leave them alone for a while because they're going to, like he told them. This is after it was already recited. And then Moses got mad when he had to tell the people this. This was his exit speech. This was his exit sermon. He was like, look, you're about to go up in there. If you pay attention to the laws and the statutes, if you go back and Deuteronomy, it's like 1 to 2 paragraphs of the blessings. But the curses take up 2 pages. 2 whole pages. And I was looking at it, I was like, yeah. I was like, if that ain't foreshadowing, I don't know what is. He's like, man, I'm going to do this.
He said exactly what was going to happen.
He's like, your children going to get taken. They're going to be sold in another land. You're going to be helpless. You ain't going to be able to do nothing against them. It's like, you're going to be oppressed this way and the third. You're going out. You're coming in. You're going to come at an enemy. You're going to depart 7 ways. You ain't got no end. Because you have rejected my laws and my statutes and have abandoned me. This is what he says. And because it is a covenant, it is about as powerful or as strong as a marriage relationship, which is the reason why he said he's a jealous God. People always try to throw that in there. He's like, I can be jealous. Did God say he's jealous in the word? Try to use that as an excuse to be jealous. I was like, no. You don't understand. This is a marriage. This is a covenant that he's made.
He wants that.
You would be mad and jealous if your husband or your wife stepped out on you in your face or brought them.
Then you try to hide.
They were committing harlotry in the very temple. That's like taking somebody who is not your husband or wife is sleeping with them in your husband or wife's bed in front of them. And you just got to stand there and take it. You know how that's the jealousy he talking about. He's like, oh no. For that, I'm going to let your behind get whooped. He didn't do it. He just removed his protection and let the devil come in. And this is the thing. He knew what the devil was going to do.
Deservingly so, though. They deserve that. We deserve what we're going through, son. It's unfortunate how privileged the mindset that
man,
we deserve it. We should be man, Joe. We should be a lot worse off.
These are the reasons why David said, "Who am I, and what is my house?"
What's up, Reg?
That's why he says stuff like that, man.
All right.
So, I mean, when I think about that, it's, if nothing else, what we have read thus far should be a humility check. Never take for granted the things that you had, the blessings that you currently have. You got to find something to be thankful for.
Man. Say that again.
You got to find something to be thankful for. Because there is something. There is always something. Because it would be blasphemous to say there is nothing to be thankful for while you are breathing and your heart is pumping. Because we have not told our bodies when our hearts should start beating. We never did. They just always were. Before we came out of the womb, the heart was beating. That's why when the doctor puts that little grease and stuff on the woman's belly and puts that sonogram on there, you can hear the dum, 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 dum. That baby ain't woke. His organs ain't even all developed yet. But what's in there?
The embryo stage. You get that heartbeat.
Yeah.
Zygote.
Yeah.
It's in there.
When the Most High hits that little chemical switch to let another little bit of life come out of him, the fountain of life, he just gives a little bit more life. And that's the electric current that starts to beat of the heart, the life that comes from him. Because he is life.
He's creating. It takes 9 months to form a human being.
It does.
Full term. But some have come in less time. 9 months.
to structure a life.
Oh, I dropped this. I'm sorry. Yesterday, I read The Gospel of the Virgin Mary. It's an apocryphal book, and it's before the birth of the Savior. And in the beginning, when an angel of the Lord was said to visit her parents and tell them how she should be brought up as a virgin, chaste and pure, I was reading that, my mind was blown. Her mother was barren for quite some time. She thought she was cursed. Then in that scripture, in the first 5 chapters, the joint said, he was like, was not the mother, I can't remember her name, was not the mother of Samson barren? Was not, who was the, Sarah, was not Sarah barren? Mm-hmm. And he just started naming all these women who were barren. And he was like, the reason why they were barren is because the Most High is the one that opens and closes the womb. So if the womb is closed up until late age, it means he's going to do something more miraculous when he opens that womb up. So it's almost like the maturation of the womb that only he can bring out. So whatever comes out of that womb when you 80, 90 something years old, thinking you can't have it, because that's how old they were.
Yeah.
So even to think of it, we thinking like, he can do it. And when he does it, the praise can't be given by nothing but him, because according to human laws or human anatomy, it shouldn't be possible. But if he opens up the womb late, so all those women, you ain't got babies yet?
So Abraham said to the Most High, man, she ain't on her cycle no more.
Yeah,
she's beyond the time. You know what I'm saying?
That's
over.
It's over.
Been gone. Yeah. She 90.
What they do? Who laughed? Didn't somebody laugh? Yeah, she laughed.
The angel was like, what you laughing at,
like,
John?
all right. You think that's funny?
Well, when we come back, you're going to be pregnant.
Whose father was mute? Wasn't it John the Baptist's father?
I believe so.
He got hit with the mute button because he ain't believe either. Mm-hmm. Hey, listen, man. Mosai tell you about to do something miraculous.
He had to write down the boy's name, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right.
Call him John.
And then it came out. Then he came out. No, I think that's what happened. He wrote it down, but when the name was asked, what should his name mean? That was his first word that came out, because he didn't believe up until that point.
Wasn't they about to try to name the boy after him, though? Give him the same name? He was like, nah, his name going to be John.
That sounds familiar, but I'm not certain. I'm not certain.
That you right, though, man. Yeah, that's why the Most High do what he do, man. So he can be the only one to get the credit for it.
Only one?
Be the only one to get the credit.
He'll make you wait to the last possible minute, and then may wait longer so that you know it's him.
Now they got people out there that, you can pick the type of kids you want to have. They got that, what they call that stuff?
The artificial insemination.
That.
Like that.
But they got
sperm bank.
Nah, I'm talking about, that's just taking somebody's sperm and insert. They creating, like genes.
Oh, like cloning?
Not so much. It's a term for it. And a lot of older white women do it. But, you're trying to create like a little super baby or something. You know what I'm saying? It's what's it called? Genes?
Nah, what I'm thinking about that ain't it.
I don't know. I don't know, but they out there tampering with the baby. It ain't just you getting the man's semen and putting it in a jar and saving it to put in the woman. They doing stuff to it. You know what I'm saying? So a kid would be less
modified genetics or something like that.
Genetic modification. It might be something along those lines.
Modification.
Because you're like trying to weed out certain defects and all this other stuff.
With the increase of knowledge of man and in all them dumb sci-fi movies that they try to make super soldiers, I'm sure there's something that's been developed along those lines. Because and you know what? The shameful thing is that's the background reason for all that stuff. It's so that men's lives will not be put in jeopardy. You want to have a soldier so that you will have more power, because the nation with a bigger military force got the biggest stake.
True.
Whoever got the biggest stick rule the world.
Look at that movie Gemini Man, though.
Oh,
Will Smith joint. It's like he got a clone.
His younger self coming at him.
That's all I gather with all this. This nigga got a clone. They putting this on TV now. Gemini Man, whatever. I ain't gonna give it no. Nah.
And all that stuff.
Don't go watch it.
We saw drones in movies way before drones actually were here. They were in public for public use. I'll say that, because people got drones now they use for photography. So that technology's out. But you best believe them little silly things was flying around with military and with military purposes.
Batteries not included. Remember that joint?
Yeah.
It was in the 80s.
Batteries not included, yeah.
And those little robots.
Yeah.
Those little gizmos or whatever. Yeah. It was like little drones, though. It was robots, but they was flying around. Probably had cameras and all that.
If ain't nothing else, Terminator was doing it. But yeah.
Well, we at 22, right?
Yeah, it was 22.
Go ahead. You want to finish it out?
Yeah, finish the chapter. You made your people Israel your own people forever. You made your people Israel your own people forever. Ever don't got to end, do it?
Nope.
And you, Yahweh, have become their Elohim. Now, Yahweh, let the promise you have made to your servant and to his house always be kept, and do as you have said. May this promise hold good, and your name be exalted forever. May they say, Yahweh Sabaoth is the Elohim of Israel. He is Elohim for Israel. The house of your servant David will be made secure in your presence, since you yourself, my Yah, have made the revelation to your servant that you would build him a house. And so your servant has ventured to offer this prayer in your presence. Yes, Yahweh, you are Elohim indeed, and you have made this kind promise to your servant. Be pleased then to bless the house of your servant, that it may continue forever in your presence. For what you, Yahweh, have blessed is blessed forever. And you know what I got from that? That's why the Most High always said after David passed away, for the sake of my servant David, I'm not going to wholly eradicate you. I'm not going to wholly take you up out of here. Because his descendants did lunch out. He had sons trying to kill him at one point. Solomon ain't do everything right. But the Most High always came back and said, because of my servant David. And it may have been this prayer right here that locked that in. Because he just said, let my house be perpetually in existence and perpetually be established in your presence. In your presence forever. So that means whoever came from his house was in the presence of the Most High.
Because he said, because of what the Most High said, he established something. He can't go back on his word, man. Thank you, Yah, for your promise. He said it.
Word,
so it's got to go down. This joint say, you have made your people Israel a people unto yourself forever. And you, Hashem, have been a God for them. You have been a God for them. The Most High has been a God for Israel. That ain't the same gods that's out there rocking with the world. Elohim is the Elohim of Israel. You have been a God for them. And now, Hashem, may the matter that you have spoken concerning your servant and his house be fulfilled. He accepted it. Now, may that thing you talked about be fulfilled, and may you do as you have spoken, and your name will thereby be recognized as true and glorified forever. When people say Hashem or Yahweh, which Hashem meaning the name in Hebrew, Yahweh, master of legions, Elohim of Israel, is Elohim over Israel, and the house of your servant David is established before you. And when your name will thereby be recognized as true, and your name will thereby be recognized as true and glorified forever. And when people say Yahweh, master of legions, Elohim of Israel, is Elohim over Israel. Yahweh, master of legions, Elohim of Israel, is Elohim over Israel. And the house of your servant David is established before you. For you, my Elohim, have revealed to the ear of your servant, saying that you would create a dynasty for him. So he revealed it to his ears. I think it's amazing he said it like that, because people him that have ears,
let him hear.
You know, some have ears but don't hear. If you ain't deaf, yet you still can't hear. I mean, if you're deaf, okay, you can't hear. But how you not deaf, but it's still
you will not take in the information.
Of course, that's what it's, and that's dangerous, Joe. Because you can hear, but you don't hear. You won't hear, but you can hear. It ain't like you deaf. You just won't hear. Say, man, for you, my Elohim, have revealed to the ear of your servant, saying that you will create a dynasty for him. Therefore, your servant has felt it proper to pray unto you. Therefore, it's a give and take. He said, man, you told me you were giving it. So now I got to pray.
It's proper.
It's proper that I
need
at
to
least
communicate with you.
Now you already showed me, you've established me, and you're going to do something about
so we must communicate.
We got to kick it, man.
We got to.
He's shown us who we are, what we are. Now we're obligated. It would only be proper. It would only be proper for us to communicate with our Father. On them type times, though, not like everybody else has been doing it up to this point, because he revealed something to our ears. He showed us what he's doing with us. He showed us what he did with David, what he established with Israel, for Israel, even though they was lunching. So now it's proper to
Your servant has felt it proper to pray unto you. And now, Yahweh, you are Elohim, and you have spoken to this benevolence, and you have spoken of this benevolence to your servant. And now you have consented to bless the house of your servant, that it may remain forever before you. For you, Yahweh, have blessed. May it be blessed. May it be blessed forever. That it remain. And now you have consented to bless the house of your servant, that it may remain forever before you. For you, Yahweh, have blessed. May it be blessed forever. So all David's descendants receive that, like we go get baby blessings and all that other stuff. The whole house of Israel was blessed and presented before Yahweh in this moment. Forever.
Forever. His seed is line. And then that blessing transferred into Most High sending his son, who also had that blessing.
He stamped. He put the icing on the cake.
That's a main
because he paid. The wages of sin is death.
That's a main joint.
So all of our actions merit us death.
Yeah.
Yahweh Shai died for us. But without the shedding of blood, there can be no remission for sin. So even though he died, the Most High still wouldn't have really been able to kick it with us like that because our sins would have still been before him. So he had to bleed. And he had to bleed. He had to bleed, Joe.
He bled a lot, too.
He had to bleed.
He bled before he died.
He bled before he died. They try to downplay that. Drops of blood, you know what I'm saying? They whooped him. Beat the brakes off of him. He was bleeding, leaking the whole time. Then he poked him in the side and bust his hands up and hit him in his feet. Ain't no telling what else they did.
They ain't break his bones, though. They did not break his bones because it was prophesied that no bone should be broken, but he would have been pierced, which he was for us.
So he handled that. He died and he bled. Because, like we established it, there was other ways he could have died. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He still would have paid for our sins, but our sins would not have been remissed. They would not have been removed from before the Most High. Now, the Most High can give us a pass. He couldn't give us a pass before his son bled. He couldn't. It wouldn't have been proper. He can overlook it for a little bit, but it would have had to come back up. Now, it's in the sea of forgiveness. Because Yahweh Shai bled. So we don't have to hold on to that mess from the past. From 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, 2 days ago. We don't have to. You holler at him about it. It's proper to talk to him.
Proper.
It's proper. It's only proper to pray.
He's waiting to talk
unto you. You're gonna give me you're gonna establish my dynasty. Therefore, your servant has felt it proper to pray to you. So every now and then, we got to literally break down, humble ourselves, and bow and kneel before the creator of everything.
We should.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, I can't get on the ground. It's dirty. You made out of dirt.
You put your face in the ground.
You better eat mud. Stop playing.
Yeah.
But, bruh, I'm going to tell you like I'm a hand off, right? I'm crushed.
Oh, I'm good.
I'm tired as a bug, man. I ain't even going to lie. I need to take a shower, get this horse doodle off me.
It's on you with the prayer.
Man, yeah. I think we did good getting the hour out.
1 Chronicles 17.
The 1 Chronicles 17, Joe. That's what the Most High. He opened me up to 1 Chronicles 17:16 with David. And you know what I saw? Who am I? That's what I saw.
Yeah.
Already underlined.
At the top of the chapter.
The title of the track he gave me, Who Am I? You know what I'm saying? You've heard it. I'm not even going to go into it. Actually, he said, who am I? 6'1", 198 known. It took me now 39 years, and now I think I'm finally known. I had to sit back and think for a second. Am I really that bad? Can I really not stop drinking and smoking? Or can I not be glad when I'm just destined for failure and constant falling as I go? And like the voice of a mighty rushing wind, I heard no. I said, is that you, Holy Spirit? He said, I've been with you all along. You keep going backwards and forwards, singing the same old boring song, young man, I'm bigger than all your issues. I'm here to get you going. You need to start trusting me and stop that thinking that you know. Yah gave you life for a purpose, and it's to set these captives free. Go comfort widows and feed the homeless so that in time you will see. It's not about what you think or feel. It's about you helping others. You're a weapon. That's why I gave you to your mother. You want to know who you are? You're a sinner saved by grace, which makes you a child of the King, a power figure in this race. Your job is to ready these soldiers. You receive your instruction from me. Yah has a plan for your life. And something that starts with you and me. We've got to get on the same page because, boy, I'm tired of your playing. I'm tired of listening to your drunk advice. Start praying, stop delaying. I asked you, what's the deal? Do you want to make it in or what? This thing takes practice and perseverance. There's no such thing as luck. Stop all that passing the buck and own up to your thoughts and actions. You're a human. Sinning's a natural reaction if you're not reading to strengthen your walk or praying to strengthen your talk. You're walking and talking in darkness, right for the devil to stalk. Experiences like these can often leave yourself debating. Is it time to unleash this power, or is there time for wasting, getting that feeling of uselessness? Start thinking you can't do it. Looking to self to succeed in this life. You're tripping, about to lose it. Hold on to Yah and your knowledge of him. Don't trade that in for nothing. Shaitan is a liar.
Yep.
And Yah done told you that his MO straight about bluffing, full of that same old stuff, and backwards looking is his method. Missing what Yah has in front of you. Perfections while you're tested. Blessed and sanctified, tried and now suited. Ready for your mission. Suited and booted. Saluting Yah and his crew. Set for transition. Son, you a winner. And you know it. Take life right by the horns. You a soldier. Time to show it. So that's why you was born.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know who you are? Bend your knees and hit your face. Shoot your petition to Yah. Trust me, I help it reach its place. And in the interim, know this here. We was created not to feel no fear. To rumble, not stumble and fumble. And hear when Yah's in our ear. Your last lap here gonna be a blast. Cause boy, you came too far. We are members of heaven's elite. Children of Yah. That's who we are. So, let that do what it do.
It's on you.
By your head. Most High, man, thank you for stopping by again. You see us. You know who we are. We broke down. We tired. We beat up, but we still present. Thank you for allowing us the opportunity just to go into your word. And thank you for being here with us. I lift up the same prayer request that was lifted up in the beginning. And I add to it that you specifically move on behalf of those weaker sheep, your weaker sons and daughters who, and I ain't talking about physical weakness, but spiritually aren't as equipped as others may be, and the enemy keep plucking at them, trying to get them to throw the towel in, just curse Yah and die. But they may not necessarily be able to see the hedge of protection. I want you to show them the hedge of protection. Show them that you established this with our forefathers. It ain't really even about us at this point. You just keeping your word to our forefathers, but help us to understand that and know to move forward with understanding that you with us, have been with us, and ain't going nowhere. Redirect our thinking back to you. Get us all the way away from Babylon. I mean, get us away from the hope. Get us out to bed with that harlot. Help us to stop fornicating with her, giving her worship and honor and adoration that's due only to you. Forgive us for playing the harlot up, playing the little hoe up to this point, and not really knowing. Cleanse us of all that unrighteous nonsense and unrighteous seeds that have been sowed, and us just pushing the delusion so hard because we thought that's what it was. Forgive us for that, and I know that your word doesn't return to you void. So, and what the devil meant for evil, you turn around and use for good. So all the seeds that we planted, we trust and believe that your Ruach is going to still cultivate them and help them to grow into truth. Cut the nonsense away. Cut the weeds and all the mess that come along with this life. Cut all that mess away. Touch Jalen's mindset. Remove Carlos from this situation through your authority so that nothing physically will have to happen to that person. Show your children, show show Janae that you have a different plan for them and increase her awareness of the spiritual battle that's taking place around all of us. It's not a toy to be played with from time to time. It's warfare, and it's not to be taken lightly. Forgive us for not attributing the right type of severity to this mess we go through on a day-to-day basis. We sleep literally on you. We sleep on you, and it's waking up early in the morning and giving you that first 15, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 an hour. Get that to you, it changes the whole course of the day. And not in the traditional sense. Remove all tradition. Just whatever we used to do, help us to do the opposite. Or maybe not the opposite, but just show us another way. Just to stop the routine, the mundaneness of that routine, just the same nonsense over and over again. Give us a new experience. I'm thanking you in advance for fixing these situations that need to be fixed. Thank you for not allowing us to have to even touch anything and just to stand still and see the salvation of our Elohim. I know. That's why I'm asking you not to, don't hurt nobody, but move in this situation, because it's time for you to move and remove this situation. So thank you for moving and removing the mess. Forgive me for slipping in my mind. Touch Jeanette's mind. Be with our families. Everybody going through stuff. But you are Yah, and you're Yah all by yourself. Thank you for blessing us. Be with us going to this week. I know it's going to be tough. But it's whatever. We know you're with us. And save us when you come. In Yahweh's name, I pray this prayer. And anything I forgot to mention, you already know what it is. I ask your Ruach to work it out. In Yahweh's name, amen.
Amen. This has been Real Talk 101 here on a Sunday afternoon. And until we see you again, may Yah bless and keep you.
Say truth, not tradition. Yes, we in now. We out.
Oh, y'all done?
Bad, Joe. I got it. Man, look. Took all right.
Ezekiel 33 and 8 through 9. When I say unto the wicked, O wicked man, thou shalt surely die. If thou dost not speak to one the wicked from his way, that wicked man shall die in his iniquity. But his blood will I require at thine hand. 9. Nevertheless, if thou warn the wicked of his way to turn from it, if he do not turn from his way, he shall die in his iniquity. But thou hast delivered thy soul.
The world is in the coma, deep in spiritual sleep. Jacob's trouble winks at all of his curious sheep. We being led to our slaughter, see our blood in the streets. Hear mothers crying out or drying tears in the sheets. It's not a complicated concept. Together we rise in ages of this nation, infiltrating divide. Time's getting shorter, new world order is down. Let's be prepared to hit the wilderness when boots hit the ground. Cause they ain't checking for your doctrine, you can't, or who you wish. Scratch the itch where they implanted your chip. I'm peeping secrets now revealed through prophetic in nature. Wish I could tell you all is well, instead of warning the danger. Heed the message from the prophet, so knock it, it's not a joke, it's a